Hello again, and thanks, Posh Partners, for joining me for another episode of Patricia's Posh Life. Today, I want to talk about something that might be a little bit controversial, maybe a little hypocritical, um, and maybe might rub some people the wrong way. But I just feel inspired this week due to some things that I've seen, heard people say, and just observed in general human behavior. I'm starting to sound like my husband, who's a behavior coach and consultant, sounds like. So I want to talk to you first of all about, are you fake posh? Now, I know that probably sounds a little strange coming from someone who is on YouTube, who has a YouTube channel and is out there trying to get likes and subscribes and all of those things that everyone on YouTube wants to do, right? We want to get your support. We want to get your following. We want to get your love and affection, so to speak. So I wanted to start off by explaining what I mean, because it sounds kind of strange for a Southern girl from a small town to be talking about a posh life. And maybe to some of you, that might even be a little hypocritical, right? So if you've watched any of my videos, you've probably heard me explain that what I feel is a posh life is not really about designer handbags or luxury hotels or red bottom shoes or any of those things that people normally associate with being posh. Secondly, why am I, as we say in the South, getting above my raisin and naming my channel The Posh Life, right? Who even uses that phrase in the States? So, a little bit about myself. I actually was very blessed straight out of college to go to work for a company that was based in England. And I had the fortunate opportunity to be able to travel the world and visit their various sites: Italy, Germany, um, England, of course, and several other sites throughout Europe in the progress of my work. And so, in doing so, I really fell in love with England, their ways, their mannerisms, the courtesy that they had, their they just seemed to know how to treat other human beings with a little bit more dignity and respect. And this was back in the day, so it's been a little while. And I just fell in love. I even worked in England for a while and actually seriously considered moving to England. I loved it so much. And so I've always been a huge fan of English literature, specifically, the traditional Jane Austen type Victorian England, just doing research about the history of England and Churchill and World War II and all the things that happened in World War I and just all of those things about England, not just, where's the best place to have tea kind of thing. Just a lot of respect for the country and what it had accomplished and the growth. There were several major revivals that happened in England on a spiritual level, which dramatically impact things that happened in the States. So for me to be kind of a little bit maybe pretentious to some of you to call my channel Posh Life, that's somewhat why I did it, because I think it's a phrase that describes very well what I'm trying to convey in this channel. So that's that explanation. So now I want to talk to you about why I'm asking if people are living this fake posh life, and why are the reasons why I don't have a posh life in some ways, uh, because I wanted to share with you how, um, again, this is not about material things. This is about being authentic and being kind and showing gratitude to people and being very, very real with people. So, to be real with you, a lot of times when I am filming, you may see me sort of press around my eye a little bit or even press a tissue to it. And that's because I have had several eye surgeries. I have a defective tear duct. So a lot of times when I'm filming, it looks like I'm crying. I literally will have tears streaming down my face, which is horrible on the makeup. And so, there not everything in my life is perfect. I do have a very blessed and wonderful life, but like everyone, I have my issues that I have to deal with and challenges, and I have to overcome those in the best way that I know how. So what's the deal with the fake posh, right? So this week, there were a couple of things that happened. I was sitting with my husband, who loves to watch all types of instructional videos on YouTube, like I'm sure a lot of us do. And he was listening to a gentleman named Lucky, and he's in the car business in Las Vegas. And a shout out to Lucky. And I will try to find his channel and maybe put his link in my description of the video below. And Lucky was talking about this very weird trend that is happening in the used car business. And that is the trend of people, two things. Number one, only being interested in cars that have a certain image. And number two, only being concerned about how much is the payment? How much is the payment? Now, if any of you know anything about basic finance, what you really need to be looking at if you make a large purchase, whether it's a home or a car or some other large purchase, you need to look at the overall cost of something. And I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not an attorney, I'm not any of those things, I'm not an accountant, but just basic common sense says you need to look at the end of the term, what will you be paying for a particular product? So this particular gentleman came in response to an ad that I'm gonna call him Mr. Lucky, that Mr. Lucky had put online, or however he advertises his cars, that basically said, here is an Escalade, and the transmission is going to go out any minute. It looks good, but I'm not sure if you will even be able to get home in this car. Um, you probably need to have it towed. And in addition to that, you really need to have a great mechanic, or you need to be able to repair the car yourself. Well, I think that's very admirable of him to be so honest and forthright about a car that probably is going to break down the moment you've driven it off the lot. And that did happen to me with a Cadillac product that I purchased at one point in my life. And so he would have people call him about the car. And so he would try to educate them about, hey, listen, you really don't be so focused on, number one, that the car looks good. Like, I'm not even sure you're going to be able to get home in this car. But number two, like, you need to look at the total cost of the car, not just what your monthly payment's going to be, because you're still going to need to get insurance and these other things, and you're going to need to be able to repair the car as well. So this particular gentleman, and he just said, I talked and talked to people until I was blue in the face. No one wanted to hear me. And he said finally he just made the decision to just, okay, nobody wants to listen. People want to be foolish. They don't care about anything but image, whatever. I'm just going to sell the car. So this gentleman came onto his lot. He was unemployed. He had a family. He had children at home. And he did not even have enough money or credit or whatever in his portfolio to be able to afford the car, let alone purchase insurance or repair the car. But Mr. Lucky said, even before they began serious negotiations on the car or any kind of paperwork or anything, he's out in the parking lot snapping selfies in front of the car and putting it on Instagram and all this kind of stuff. And he said he just was flabbergasted that this is all this person cared about. Didn't care if his kids were fed, apparently. Didn't care if his kids were safe in the car. Didn't care how he was going to get home. Didn't seem to care about any of that. So this week, my husband, who is a pastor as well as being a behavior coach, preached a sermon about basically the favor of God and how to get it and what you have to do and what God expects of you, which is having a vision, a plan for your life, and to work hard and to make your dreams come true, which in America, I will still say, is still possible. I meet people every single day who work very, very hard. They come from all walks of life and they're very successful. Many of them owning their own businesses, making a great living and paying their taxes and doing all the right things. And so I just don't understand this obsession with I'm so concerned with what everybody thinks about me and my life, which is again another reason that I started this channel, because I wanted people to think more deeply beyond this. And I have a story about this I want to tell you. Beyond the type of car you drive or the type of house that you live in. So my story about my little purse, which you probably all recognize the brand and what it might represent or not represent to people. For me, that purse was directly linked to my question that I posed to my father when I was 13 years old. And we were sitting in the middle of the Western Sizzlin' on a Friday night, which is what everyone in my small town did because there wasn't a lot else to do. And I looked at him and I said, "Is this all there is to life?" And the first, the second time that I went to Paris, I was able to go to the Louis Vuitton store, and no one even knew then who Louis Vuitton was. It was not a household name. I just really liked the shape of the bag, the practicality of it, the fact that it was made of very sturdy leather. And this purse is now over 40 years old. And the durability of having such a great bag when I travel. And I paid in that day and age quite a bit of money in my mind, but I was single. I did own my own home. I paid all my own bills. And it was something to me that was a milestone and was a symbol of an achievement. And So for me, that is why I purchased that bag and have purchased a few other Louis Vuitton bags in my life. But I also purchase many no name bags. And I'm not hung up on, whether I can't have something unless it's designer, which I see a lot of on social media. So I wanted to just reach out to my posh partners and get your thoughts and get your comments about that, about the silliness of that, and about how we're creating this society where what you carry, what you wear, is all there is about you, because that's really sad and says a lot of bad things about where we are in the world. I would much rather see someone who um, is really genuinely interested in another human being and engages in a meaningful way than I care about your purse or your shoes or your clothes. Now, don't get me wrong. I like to look nice. I like to have a nice home. I like to drive a nice car, all of which I get to enjoy with the blessing of the Lord. But there's just more to life than that. And I just wanted to reach out to you guys and just say, hey, this is a red flag, because when you build your life on something as shallow as that, you're headed for a very dangerous place. Because again, showing you parts of my life that are not posh at all, including my accent, posh, that are not posh at all. My husband was terminally ill years ago, and we lost everything. We had no food to eat. And when I say we lost everything, that did not mean that I couldn't go to Starbucks and get a coffee. That meant I had no food to eat at all. Nothing. And so, I've been poor. I've had money. I've shopped in designer stores. I've shopped at the thrift store too. And I actually really enjoy shopping at the thrift store. And it's really the relationships that my husband and I have built over the years that we've been together that have created our posh life. It's not the material things that we've purchased. And again, don't get me wrong. I enjoy my Louis Vuitton purse. I still carry it. I don't fault anyone for wanting that. If that's what you want, that's great. Go get it and work hard and enjoy it. But don't make that the sole focus of your life. You want an Escalade, you want a Bentley, that's great. Don't make that your sole focus of life. Make your posh life a genuine and authentic life that you can really enjoy with the people around you that you really love, you really care about, and in turn, they'll really care about you. So, thanks for listening to my rant today, partners. I really appreciate it. And I know some of you may not agree with me, and that's okay. We still live in a world where we can have freedom of speech, which I am very thankful for. But until next time, Posh Partners, take care of yourselves and enjoy your posh life.